difference between holding property in joint tenancy with right of survivorship or tenancy in common. These are two ways that people who own property with more than one person, with more than just themselves, can hold the property. If you take the property as tenancy in common, then you're sharing the property with the other person. Say you have 50% and they own 50%. If you were to pass away or want to give your property away, 50% of the property would pass to another person. On the other hand, with joint tenancy with right of survivorship, you own the property with the other person, and the day you die, magically, they own 100% of the property on their own. So this can be beneficial, and often people try to sort of sidestep having an estate plan by holding property as joint tenancy with right of survivorship. The problem with that is it creates some problems. You, for instance, lose the stepped up basis when you get property through a joint tenancy when your co-tenant passes away. See my other videos about what a stepped up basis is. It's a very beneficial way to get property from a tax perspective, and you lose those benefits with a joint tenancy with right of survivorship. So it's just basically two ways for for two or more people to hold property together. So for joint tenancy with right of survivorship, all the people who are taking ownership of the property have to come to own the property at the same time under the same deed. And with joint tenancy of right of survivorship, you own the property in an amount equal to the percentage of how many people own the property. So if 2 people own it, you own 50%. If 3 people own it, you own 33.33%. With tenancy in common, you have a right to inhabit the entire property. You still share it with other people, but the division isn't the same. Although you may only have a 25% interest or a 50% interest, you're seen as owning the entire property with the other person. By contrast, with a tenancy in common, the different owners can own in different ownership shares. So if I owned property with my mom, I could own 25% and she owns 75% with a tenancy in common. If we own something with joint tenancy right of survivorship, then we would each just be 50% owners.